Hey there, I'm Julie Barrett, founder of Conservative Ladies of Washington, and we are currently in the process of bringing you our 2024 legislative preview series. And today I'm going to tell you about an especially concerning bill. It's Senate Bill 5427. I call this the Tattletale Hotline. This bill went through the committee process. It had a public hearing in 2023, but it never got out of committee. It never got to a floor vote. So because this is a biennium, this bill is on the table again for 2024, and it is one of the bills that we are very concerned about. Now, what this bill does is it creates a hotline in the Attorney General's office where people can report hate crime or bias incidents. This also creates a compensation program for these victims of hate crimes or bias incidents where they can get up to $2,000 per person if they've been a victim of a hate crime or a bias incident. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly does that mean? So I'm going to read a little bit to you from the Senate bill summary of the Senate bill report for the summary of the bill. So this is Hate Crimes and Bias Incidents Hotline. The Attorney General's office must oversee a hate crimes and bias incident hotline staffed during business hours dedicated to assisting people who have been targeted or affected by hate crimes and bias incidents. The hotline must receive reports of hate crimes and bias incidents, provide appropriate crisis intervention, information, and referrals that is victim-centered, culturally competent, and trauma-informed, and be as accessible to as many residents of Washington as practical, regardless of language proficiency. So I bet you can hear in this a lot of the DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion language. So I would imagine in addition to the $2,000 payout that a victim could get, plus the staffing for this particular office, you're also going to have to pay for this training and these resources for these victims. Now, a bias incident means a person's hostile expression of animus toward another person relating to the other person's actual or perceived race, color, religion, ancestry, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender expression, or identity, or mental, physical, or sensory disability. A bias incident is deemed to be non-criminal in nature. Hate crimes means the commission, attempted commission, or alleged commission of criminal hate crime offense as currently described in state law. Hate crimes, as defined in this bill, does not change the existing law for the criminal hate crime offense. So I bet you're getting the idea that this is a bunch of garbage. And anybody can make up anything they want. They can claim that it made them feel any way that they wanted. As I read here, it's a person's actual or perceived race, gender, sexual orientation. So this leaves it wide open for people to totally abuse this bill. And this is going to be very expensive for the state. I don't know what they would plan to do to fund this program at $2,000 per person, plus all of the staffing, plus all of the resources for victims. This bill could get very expensive. And this bill will also be used to target people that you do not agree with, whether it's politically, ideologically. You could see how this could impact people who are activists, people like myself, people like maybe you, if you're involved in activism, people who are very involved with their church, religious people. There are a number of ways that we can see that this is going to be abused. And they get by with this because people don't really speak up. In the legislature, they do, pass hundreds of bills every year that people don't even know about. So how can they speak up? And the left, they speak up on all of this stuff because they've got paid people to be there and speak up. And our side, we don't have that. Our team, we're all volunteers. We're not salaried employees of CLW. We don't have salaried employees. So we're just people who are passionate about what we do. And so that's why I want to encourage you. If this sounds like something that you'd be willing to speak up publicly in a committee hearing about, we would love to work with you and help you on that. They do it now remote, so if you can't get to Olympia, you could do it on Zoom. But it's really important, and it helps our legislators when they go into these committee hearings or meetings after the public hearing. and debate these bills and talk about if they should pass it out of committee, they rely on the testimony of citizens who have spoken in the public hearing. And so I would encourage you to consider that. And if you can't do that, I would encourage you to write letters. And we're going to give you all of those steps as we go into the session and when it's appropriate time-wise, and who the appropriate contact people are so that you can take action that you feel is appropriate for you. Now, I would also like to encourage you, if you haven't already, please sign up for our Substack. I've got a link in the description for that. And I'd also encourage you to make a donation. We are funded only by the help of citizens like you and to our subscribing members. So if you would consider joining us and teaming up with us in one of those two ways, that would be wonderful. We would certainly appreciate it. And you can look forward to another video on another wonderful bill coming soon.